Okay, yes, a reminder on how you can break down that upward pick slant lick. So yeah, starting at the bottom of the page is about as easy as you need to get, I think, in terms of splitting it all up. This way we have, a full phrase happening. Let me throw that last note in there too. Actually, that's how I wrote it. Anything with that. So yeah, just working through it without any metronome is always a fine idea to kind of get warmed up a little bit with it, or doing it, after you've worked it up really, really fast. Just the whole looping idea that we've talked about. So I guess right now I'm just kind of saying reminders of things. But yeah, so taking it even further, if you feel the need to, is just doing like one bar at a time, 2 bars at a time is really good, or just doing half and half is fine. And then, yes, basically you can just really break it down into teeny tiny steps. Get that as fast as you can, this as fast as you can, that as fast as you can. So each little bar as fast as you can, and then 2 bars at a time. And yeah, even doing it like that, that'd be good right there, even though it's like the end of half of one phrase and the start of another. But that could be a sticking point. This string's been fretting out today. I just adjusted the action too. I'm not sure what happened. I get maybe the weather changing. Oh well. Anyway, I just hear this really funky twang and it's messing with my head. So yeah, doing even 2 bars at a time like that, really great idea, and so on. And then yeah, you can do the 3 bars at a time too, or just go straight into half and half. So I mean, that's if you really want to get crazy in depth. But I'd say a fair amount of in depth would be just like the 1 bar at a time, and then yeah, these 2 at a time makes sense. And then half, half, and then you could go maybe those 6 bars, and then these 6 bars, or after you've done the half and half, put it all together. So it really depends on like how in depth do you want it to go. How far do you want to go with dissecting it into tiny pieces? And then you can take the same approach to this. So you can work up 1 bar at a time, get each one as fast as you possibly can, and then 2 bars at a time, getting those as fast as you can. And then you can do 3 after that. These 3 and these 3, and then the whole thing. Same thing with that. So this is where you practice the transition at the end of the bar. So getting in place for the next one. And then with this, that is just your 16th notes all the way through. So with this, like, how would you break that one down further if need be? Well, because this one has the quarter note thing at the end, that's basically taking this and going, basically play all of 1 bar plus the very first note of the next bar. That's what the idea is. So I'll do this sort of thing. Instead of tabbing it out for myself on stuff, I'll just look at it like that. I'm just going to go a full bar plus 1 note. This way I'm ending on a downbeat. Makes it much more clear when I'm supposed to be finishing. So if you wanted to take something like this even further, I would say just doing the 2 bars at a time again. So you can break it down like that. Breaking it down one bar at a time, like we already did that with the other one, so we're kind of moved past that. So yeah, 2 bars at a time plus the notes. That much together, and of course, you can always do 3 at a time, and then the whole thing. And then I just looping it, whatever step that you're working on, even if it's just like one of the things. So yeah, little stuff like that. And just loop it. Even the more pausing type thing. Oh. God, you hear that? Jesus. That's fun. End up picking it so hard it's fretting out. Damn. Alright, let me raise the action a little more. What's going on here today? Had the internet crap out on me like 5 times in the previous lesson, and it's just a day for wrong things to happen, I guess. Other things happen in the morning. It's been nuts. It's not as bad, I guess. But yeah, just looping that kind of thing over and over again. I'm getting tired. Oop. And the timer just went off. Fantastic. I about cover some ideas, good ideas with that guy. So yeah, the down with the pickness, that whole thing. So you got to 195 yesterday. Let me make an adjustment here. So yeah, your goal would be to start at 195 and just do 1 bar at a time. So in addition to that, if you feel like you need extra warm-up, you might just want to play through the phrase a few times at whatever feels like a decent natural speed for you. So instead of like really trying to push it, just kind of just play it at a nice easy pace for yourself. So nothing too fast. Do some repeats. So not like push it really hard for yourself. So do it until you start to feel the arm getting. It's like, yeah, you're starting to feel a little bit of that tension creep in there, or fatigue. I should say fatigue. You start to feel that fatigue start to set in, muscles starting to get tired, And another important thing about doing this sort of thing is breathing. You gotta remember to breathe, 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 breathe. So taking big, deep breaths while you do it is extremely helpful and quite necessary when you're pushing that endurance. So you gotta do that. Yeah, about 10 to 15 minutes would be plenty when you're pushing this thing, because again, it's going to be very intense, so it can't be done for a very long time. So yeah, once you do that, that's a pretty decent warm-up, I feel. And then of course doing all the other alternate picket stuff before that'll help warm you up even more. But then yeah, you start with just the one bar. Start with bar number 1 and start it at that 195 that you got to. Just one and done. And then go for the 2 bars. And then 3. And take as many breaks as you need to. When it starts getting really fatigued, just shake it out, wait for that fatigue to die off, and then go again. And yeah, just add 1 bar at a time. I wouldn't go straight for the whole thing. Just 1 bar at a time, 1 bar at a time. Go into the warm-up smart. We don't want to push it too fast too soon. Let's just add 1 bar at a time. And then add a bar. And then the whole thing. So, after that, you go up 1 BPM, and then play the whole thing. Not just 1 bar, 1 bar, 1 bar, the whole thing. And once you got 196 down, then you just go to 197. Just keep going up in 1. And the reason why we go up in 1s is because you're pushing your maximum with this stuff. So a 5 BPM jump, when you're already very, very close to your max, would be asking a bit too much, I think. So yeah, whatever you reach at the end of the practice session, let's say you get up to like 202. Well, you're going to start the next practice session at 202. So go ahead and do that suggestion of just play the entire thing at least a few times to get warmed up with it at whatever pace feels natural to you. Let your body dictate what feels right. So warm up without the metronome first. Play it until you start feeling a little bit of fatigue set into the arm, and shake it out and be, all right, now it's time for the metronome. And then start it with whatever the max speed was the previous day. And then get 1 bar, then 2, 3, 4, until you get the full phrase. And then go up 1 BPM and do that until basically you got to get to a point where it's a struggle. Like you're really having to struggle to get that full phrase down. When it's taking like a minute or two, just like, oh shit, and then you finally get it, then that's it for the day. So we get to that point, it's a real big struggle. And even if it just means you get like 2 or 3 BPM, that's fine. Hell, even just 1. Because eventually you're going to get to that point where you are at your limit, and the whole diminished returns, it gets harder. Like the faster you get with it, the harder it is to get faster, for sure. So we take breaks when you start to feel like that stiffness, get more and more in the forearm. Just wait, shake it out, try it again. Because if you go in with it really, really stiff, chances of you being able to pull off the full phrase at the new speed is, well, next to impossible. So, and then, yeah, I think that covers all the playing stuff we were looking at, and I'll send over all the other bonus things in the email. And, yeah, as always, any questions come up, let me know, and I will see you again next week.